What is going on, Bolt Nation, and welcome to another Destiny 2 video. In today's video, because you guys have requested it, I'm making a video on telling you guys what parts you will need to build the best PC to play Destiny 2 and also serve as a workstation. Because let's be honest, if you're going to be playing Destiny 2, you're definitely going to want to create content for Destiny 2, and I'm going to show you guys which parts you will need to make this PC happen. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this video. Alright, before we get started with the whole part list, I do want to say, guys, I've seen multiple videos of people putting out videos of, hey, this is the PC you need for Destiny 2. This is the cheapest PC you could build for Destiny 2. And stuff like that. I want to make sure that when I'm building a PC, it's going to serve me for a long time. I don't want to just build a PC for one specific game. I want to make sure that if I build a PC, it's going to actually help me play other games. Plus, it's going to allow me to stream, and it's also going to allow me to do video editing. Of course, when you first build your PC, you might just want to build it for that game, but then you're going to be so itchy, be like, yes, I want to stream. I want to create content for this game. And you're going to get to a point where you're like, man, I used all this money on this PC, and now I can't do that. So I want to build a PC that's going to be helpful for not only playing the game at a nice quality 4K 60 frames per second, but also allow you to produce that content if you guys so choose so. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, and let's go ahead and start off with the first part of building a PC. Building a PC is not that hard, but it's also not that easy. You can make little mistakes as you build, or it could be super easy if you build one before. Now, there's tons of videos out on YouTube that will help you build a PC. This video is not going to focus primarily on how to build a PC. It's just going to tell you which parts you're going to want to utilize in order to build a very nice PC that will help you play Destiny 2 and also output content. So let's go ahead and start off with one of the most important things that you're going to want to do. Of course, that is the CPU. Now, a lot of people would recommend other CPUs, but me personally, I want to recommend a CPU that's going to last a very long time, that will not need to be replaced within a year. And this is the i7-7700 with a 4.2 gigahertz processor. It comes with a quad core, and it's a very solid processor, and one that I highly recommend you guys picking up. Now, the cost of this one's like about $300, but regardless of the cost, it's still a very solid piece of equipment that will also allow you to not only be able to do all sorts of gaming, but also sorts of workstation processes. Not only that, but it'll also allow you to not only do multitasking. So that means, for example, let's say you're editing a video, you're playing a game, and you also want to be, maybe creating an image, talking on Skype. It's not going to be crashing. It's going to allow you to do multiple functions within the PC. Next thing you're going to want to do is, of course, keep your PC as cool as possible, because you definitely want to avoid any sort of overheating. And we went ahead and added a Corsair H100i V2 7.7 CFM liquid CPU cooler that is going to maintain your CPU as cool as possible, allowing you to not only game for long hours, but also push your processor to the maximum level if you want to overclock it. As far as the motherboard is concerned, we went with a MSI Z270 Gaming Pro Carbon ATX LGA 1151 motherboard. Now, the cool thing about this motherboard, it comes with all the bells and whistles. It allows you to not only have a really good internal, but also external options for you being able to plug USB 2.0, USB 3.0. It comes with a nice little sound card, not top of the line sound card, but also it comes with a built-in one, so you don't have to worry about getting an additional one. It lets you put RAM all the way to 64 gigabytes of RAM. So very solid motherboard to have, allowing you to not only be functional for the parts you're putting on, but also if you ever decide to upgrade later on, along your path of building the PC, if you want to go ahead and upgrade to something else, like a better RAM or better processor, you're able to do that with these motherboard. Now, as far as the memory is concerned, I went with a Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gigabyte, two of them with 8 gigabytes, and a DDR4 of 2400 in memory. These are really good and very compatible with not only this motherboard, but also with the Intel processor. Like I said, you could always upgrade this from 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, all the way to 64 if you guys want to, but 16 gigabytes should be sufficient enough for you guys to not only handle multitasking, but also handle any 1080p 4K 60 frames per second game that you so choose for. Now, as far as storage, I wanted to give you guys enough storage for you guys to not only install the game, but also save a couple files. Now, if you guys are going to be doing massive editing and all that stuff, you're definitely going to want to add an additional storage device. But just for this PC build should get you started, I went with the Samsung 850 EVO-Series 500 gigabyte 2.5 solid straight drive. Of course, SSD. I mean, you could add a hard drive if you want, guys, but for give you the best quality for the game, for not only for the the game to start up, load faster, but also for your PC to load faster or any other program so they can load faster, you're definitely going to want to go with the SSD as opposed to a hard drive. You could probably install a hard drive if you want just to save your files, but of course SSD would be the way to go and what I highly recommend for you guys to definitely use if you're building a PC. As far as the graphics card, I went ahead and used a GTX 1080. Now you're probably wondering, Laser, why don't you go with the 1070 or maybe a lower tier graphics card? I wanted to give you guys a card that's going to allow you to be able to use this for a longer period of time where you're not going to be hindered when there's a new game that comes out, like say for example Anthem, when that comes out and you're like, man, I wish I could play Anthem, and it's like, oh, I can't because my graphic card won't support it or something like that. So I went ahead and gave you a 1080 because a 1080 should be sufficient for you, not only for Destiny 2, but it should help you also for video editing and Photoshop or any other stuff that you want to do on your PC. And this is the 8GB WindForce OC 8GB video card made by Gigabytes. You could go with any other brand that maybe that's not Gigabytes, like PYN, or you could go with EVGA. So it's just, as long as it's a 1080, you should be good. I didn't want to do some overkill with like a 1080 Ti or a Titan or anything like that, because this should be sufficient for you guys to not only do very well with gaming, but also do with multitasking. Now let's talk about the power supply. What's going to make all of this turn on and work? Now, as far as all the parts I have right here, these are going to run you like about 400 watts in power. So I didn't want to give you like just a regular, power supply where you're just going to be like capping right at the bottom where it's like going to be, man, I have 400 watts and I'm just, I have 50 left in case I want to add something else. No, so I wanted to give you something that would give you a good amount of, watts that not only going to be allow you to power your PC, but also if you want to add some maybe lights, or if you want to maybe add another graphics card, or you want to upgrade the memory and all that stuff that's going to take more power. I wanted to give you enough power for you to be able to, do that, kind of be able to upgrade your PC. And I went with the EVGA SuperNOVA NEX 650 watts gold certified fully modular ATX power supply. This is by far one of the best power supplies out of the market with 650 watts. EVGA makes really good power supplies, guys. You could go with Corsair, but EVGA, I would highly recommend it as far as a power supply. This should give you enough juice to not only power your PC, but also get you ready for that nice boost of power if you ever decide to upgrade. Now, where are you going to be putting all these parts, and what's going to make this look very, very nice? Going with the whole PlayStation 4 limited edition PS4 that came out for Destiny 2, I said, well, in order for us to have a nice looking case, we might as well go with a white vibe. So I went with the NZXT S340 white ATX mid-tower case. I thought this looks really, really nice. It's not something that looks so Transformer-ish. It looks like your standard, kind of PC build, but it also comes with a nice tempered glass. So if you want to put it on top of your desk, you're not going to give you that sore eye where you're like looking at it like, oh man, that's ugly. It's going to give you a nice aesthetic look. It's also going to match that white finish with your Destiny thing. You could always buy some sort of stickers or something to put on that white case, like if you want to put a Destiny logo or a Ghost logo, and it's going to make it really, really nice. I'm going to try to see if I could maybe source out these parts and maybe build this PC, if I could get these parts sent to me and then put it together, and once I have it set up, I could probably give it away. So hopefully, all the other companies that I've actually reached out to, they can go ahead and send these products over so we can build that PC for you guys, so you guys can see what it looks like once built. Now, the biggest question you guys probably have is, Laser, how much does this all cost, and what is it that I'm going to need to actually get a full running PC? Now, that's a very interesting question. To get this PC that I'm building right here, you're looking about $1,500. I mean, if you source out the parts, do some mail-in rebates, you could probably get it like by 12, like $1,200, but you would have to definitely do some research. Of course, the prices of the parts also vary depending on what the market is doing, so you could maybe get this under $1,000 if you source right, or you could get it for $1,500 if you're just trying to buy it right now and build it once Destiny 2 comes out. Remember, you have enough time to wait for prices to drop if you're trying to build a PC for Destiny 2, so do keep that in mind. Now, one thing I do want to let you guys know that once this PC is built, of course, you're going to need a mouse, you're going to need a keyboard, you're going to need a monitor to get this going, and of course, a software to be able to run it like Microsoft Office. So do keep that in mind. You're looking at an additional cost of maybe between $500 to $600 on just, you know, on that type of thing. Now, if you want a 4K monitor, of course, if you're definitely going to want to be playing Destiny in 4K, your price is going to go up because 4K monitors are a little bit expensive. Even though the prices have been shifting down a little bit, you can still get a pretty decent monitor for like $300 to $600, or you could go all the way to $1,000 depending on what you want as far as that monitor is concerned. But that's what you're looking at just for the PC alone. You're looking at about 15, so do keep that in mind, guys. 1,500 is what you would probably be spending. Now, if you guys would like me to actually build this PC, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to try to get these parts so I can build it together. And if I do build it together, I plan on giving it away. So hopefully, you know, I'm able to get these parts. If you guys want to help me build the PC, you guys are more than welcome to donate if you guys want to. You don't have to. I'm not asking for donations. I don't even, you know, I'm trying to get these parts for free, but that's only if you guys want to, okay? So I'm not asking for anything. But let me know in the comment section down below if you guys would also like to see a build where it's just to play Destiny. If that's something that interests you, let me know and I'll definitely put a build together. But if you have any questions about this build or you're planning on building a PC, just drop it down in the comment section below. I'll try to answer them as quickly as I possibly can. And also, I want to know how many people that are watching this video do plan on building a PC just for Destiny 2. Please